It is a gift, and we need to treat it that way. Now, the second reality is that fatigue is a threat. Say that with me if you would. Fatigue is a threat. You and I can get very tired. The desert has casualties. It has captives. Ministry fatigue, or as I studied it the last few months, many people call it compassion fatigue. Leaves you empty, dehydrated, depleted, and derailed if you're not careful. And when you are worn out, you will go off the reservation and do things you never thought you would do. They say that being insincere is one of the most exhausting things in life. And I've found that one thing that makes us tired is when we compare ourselves to one another, and one church against another, and why can't we be like them, and this and that and everything else. And I think we have confused sometimes, and this throws us into fatigue and into the desert. We have confused when Paul said in Galatians 6, don't grow weary in well-doing. We think it's don't grow weary in doing well. It's a big difference. Well-doing is being faithful. Doing well is being successful. And you and I don't need to worry about being successful. And if we're comparing ourselves to somebody else, they're going to be a lot better than us. We're going to be depressed and look for a bridge to jump off of. Or if we think we're all that, we're going to strut around and be pretty arrogant. I think we need to put to rest one time the question about success. It's really by age is how you determine success. I know it's true because I read it on a little card in a restaurant one time. It goes by age. If you're 4 years old, success is a dry pair of pants. If you're 12, it's having friends. 16, having a driver's license. 25, being married and having sex. And at 35, it's having money. And then it turns. At age 50, success is having money. At 60, it's being married and having sex. At 70, it's having a driver's license. At 80, it's having friends. And at 90, it's having a pair of dry pants. Oh, please don't encourage it. Don't encourage it. Yeah. Now, the final reality is the crux of the matter, and that is simply that the Jesus rhythm of rest and ministry is it. In John chapter 8, he said, I only do what pleases my Father. And he did what God wanted, and he did it when God wanted it done. He was led by the Spirit. And for us to capture this rhythm of Jesus and realize he knew when to call disciples, he knew when to send them, he knew when to have a teaching moment, and he knew when to have a preaching moment. He knew when to heal, and he knew when to confront. He knew when to teach a parable, and he knew when to do a miracle. He knew when to celebrate a Jewish holiday, and he knew when to establish a brand new one at the Last Supper. He knew how to respond quickly to Pharisees, and he knew how to delay his response with the news of Lazarus. He knew how to fall asleep in a boat in the middle of a storm, and he knew how and when to let little kids come and play. He knew how to go away with his disciples to a quiet place, and he knew how to set his face towards Jerusalem. I mean, his rhythm rocks. He was led into the desert. He was led through temptation. He was ministered to, and then he went on to minister after that. I appreciate so much Ben's words on Tuesday night. Ministry is a nickel at a time. I appreciate Brian Jones yesterday morning. It's one disciple at a time. Man, did he just kick us around yesterday or what? I needed to come forward twice at the end of that message. Ephraim told us we need to add one culture at a time. And Dick Alexander told us last night it's one place of poverty at a time. And it will be because we're led by Jesus. And his style is simple. It's disengaging with people and stuff so you can fully engage with our Father. And then when we're soaked up on him, then re-engage in ministry. Then disengage and fully engage with him, and then re-engage. And then disengage and fully engage and re-engage. And say that with me if you can remember it. Disengage with people so we can fully engage with him, so we can re-engage